Before a thread is spun or a piece of linen is woven, it begins right here in the quiet growth of the earth. Today we're taking a journey into the past, connecting with the old ways, the old crafts, and the beautiful corners of the forest. Welcome to a space where the world moves a little slower. From quiet morning walks to the scent of fresh bread and the rhythm of the needles. Let's find the beauty in the simple things together. Make yourself at home. We are leaving the rush of modern life behind and driving deeper into these ancient towering woods. This region along the Norwegian and Swedish border is known as Finnskogen, the forest of the Finns. To truly understand the place we're visiting today, we have to travel back in time hundreds of years ago. In the late 1500s and early 1600s, families in Finland, which was then part of the Swedish kingdom, faced severe hardships, crop failures and war. Seeking a new beginning, many packed up their lives and migrated westward into the dense, untouched coniferous forest of Sweden and Norway. They brought with them a distinct culture, their own language, and a fascinating, unique way of surviving in the wilderness. The forest Finns were absolute masters of unique agricultural technique called slash-and-burn farming, or svedjebruk. They would fell large areas of dense spruce forest, let the timber dry over the winter, and then set it alight in a controlled burn. Into the warm, nutrient-rich ash, they sowed a very specific type of rye, known as svedjerug or forest rye. Remarkably, a single grain of this rye could yield hundreds of stalks, providing enough food to sustain entire families in places where traditional crops would never survive. But this method required immense stretches of forest. The soil was so incredibly fertile from the ash that it gave massive harvests, but usually only for a year or two before the farmers had to move on and clear a completely new piece of the wildwoods. As the centuries passed and the forest became highly valued for commercial logging, the forest Finns adapted once again. They transitioned from their semi-nomadic lifestyle into settled, permanent farmers. They cleared permanent homesteads, built beautifully crafted log structures, and established the serene, isolated forest farms, or torps, that still dot this landscape today. The place we are arriving at, Tyskeberget, is one of those lasting homes. It was first cleared around 1760 and remained inhabited for nearly 240 years. Just imagining the generations of hands that worked this soil and the stories that echoed through these trees. As we make our final turn and the forest opens up, it feels as though time itself has slowed down. Let's step outside, leave the noise behind, and find the stillness together. Outside the barn, the old traditions are kept alive. Watching the raw flax being worked by hand into fine, strong linen thread is a beautiful reminder of how much patience, care, and time went into creating everyday things in the past. Nothing was rushed. Walking around on my own, I love noticing the small details. Even the old timber outhouse carries its own rustic charm. And in this field, the local historical society has planted a small plot of flax. They told me that the first year they tried growing 50 square meters, but it quickly became overwhelming for the few volunteers keeping this place alive. Now this small 5-meter patch stands as a beautiful tribute to the farm's heritage. This is a mosebås, a traditional timbered crib used to store dry moss. Moss was an essential resource back then, gathered from the forest floor to insulate the log homes against the harsh winter cold, or used as bedding in the barn. It shows just how closely connected people were to what nature provided right at their doorstep. Down by the clearing lies the Laugardam, the traditional washing pond. Sitting here by the still water, it's easy to imagine the generations who came down here to wash clothes, fetch water, or simply pause for a quiet moment during a long day of farm work. The silence here is incredibly deep. Stepping inside the old barn, we find the wonderful collection of inhabited work, crafts made entirely from woven birch bark. From sturdy rucksacks and shoes to protective sheaths for sides, the resourcefulness is inspiring. Stripping the bark from the birch trees without harming them was an art form in itself, creating durable, water-resistant items that lasted a lifetime. As we take a final look inside the cosy woodshed and prepare to leave Tyskeberget, my heart feels a little fuller and quieter. Places like this remind us of the beauty of a simpler, slower way of living. Thank you so much for wandering through the forest and history with me today. If you enjoyed this quiet journey, feel free to subscribe to my channel, leave a comment, and I will see you in the next video. Take care.